So here we're going to take a look at the ROTEX sander. Here I'll show you the product features, accessories, consumables, and also how to maintain your product to get the most out of it. So now we're going to take a look at a few of the features on the machine. So firstly, on top here we've got our switching, so our on and off switch here, and this is our switch from rotary to eccentric motion. So both of those modes, it's got a 5mm orbit, then we flick it onto there, and it's also got a 5mm rotary orbit with it as well. So the machine itself's 2.3 kilos, and down the back here, so we can remove the back, and this is for when we are using polishing, so we can manoeuvre the machine without that getting in the way. On the side here we've got our spindle lock to take our pads off, so when we do take the pad off, it's got to be in rotary motion. We push that spindle lock and then we can remove that pad easy and place another pad on. So it's got a 720 watt brush motor. The variable speed is at the back, and the variable speed on rotary runs from 320 RPM to 660 RPM, and then on random orbital 3300 to 6800 RPM. So this then gives us plenty of options for different materials. So here we're just going to take a look at the overview of the accessories and the consumables that are available for the ROTEX. So firstly, with our pads, there's 4 different pads available for the tool. Firstly, a standard medium pad, also a hard pad for keeping surfaces flat or edges really sharp. There's a super soft pad, and this is more for curves, so it's got a little bit more give in it, and also for finer abrasives. And the green one is a polishing pad, and this is designed to work with the polishing system. It's a slightly different diameter than the rest of the pads, therefore allowing a bit of give in the pads when we use them. And that's also combined in with the polish. The other one is there's 2 different types of interface pads, one 5mm and one 15. Again, these are designed for curves or curved surfaces or contours where we need to sand into. There's also a protection pad, and this is designed for when we are using the mesh abrasive. So the protection pad will go over the main pad, and then the mesh abrasive on top of that. And of course there's a few other abrasive options for different types of materials, this type of thing. The other one as an accessory is an extra handle, so you can hold onto the machine out the front rather on top. With that as well as a handle that locks in either left or right hand side of the ROTEX, and a pad guard, and this protects the pad and also the material that you're working on when you're working up to edges. So here we'll just take a look at a couple of maintenance points just for the ROTEX so you get the most out of it. Firstly, you've got your intake air at the back here, so the vents are coming in, the cooling air out through the front to keep the motor cool. Just make sure those vents always stay clear. So with your pads, ideally you're not putting too much pressure on the pad. It's a heat resistant Velcro, but just to be used with a general weight, you're better off going to the next abrasive down if you're required to do that. So the pads are there to give you a long life. With the sanding pad brake, so this is a rubber on top of the pad. This actually puts pressure onto the pad and keeps it at a steady rotation, so would need replacement. And the way you'll notice that is if your pad free spins in random orbital. So it's ideally setting it in random orbital so it gives you a really good surface finish. So these are just a couple of maintenance tips to get the most out of the ROTEX.